Hello viewers, let's be honest. If someone showed you a pair of Crocs for the very first time, you probably wouldn't call them beautiful. They're chunky, covered in holes, and honestly, they don't look like a shoe that should become famous. In fact, when Crocs first came out, people couldn't stop making fun of them. They called them ugly, they made jokes. Some even wondered who would actually wear these. But here's what's unbelievable. The same shoe that people laughed at would one day be worn by celebrities, doctors, athletes, and millions of people around the world. Even more surprising, there was a time when Crocs was on the verge of collapsing. Its stock price crashed. Experts thought the company was finished. So, how did the world's most mocked shoe become one of the biggest success stories in business? Well, the answer begins on a boat. It's the year 2002. Three friends, Scott Simmons, George Bodeker, and Lyndon Duke Hansen, are enjoying a boating trip. Like most boaters, they had one annoying problem. Wet decks were slippery, regular shoes didn't grip well, and after spending hours on a boat, your feet weren't exactly comfortable. They knew there had to be a better solution. During that trip, they came across something unusual. Not a new shoe, but a new material. It was a soft foam resin, lightweight, waterproof, slip-resistant. It didn't absorb water, it didn't hold bad odors. And the moment they tried it, they noticed something else. It was incredibly comfortable. Most people would have looked at that material and moved on, but these three friends saw something different. They didn't just see a comfortable boating shoe. They saw an opportunity. What if this could become the most comfortable everyday shoe? Not for fashion, not for style, but for people who spend long hours on their feet. Doctors, chefs, restaurant workers, nurses, anyone whose feet hurt by the end of the day. That simple idea would soon grow into a company that would completely change the footwear industry. But first, they had one big problem. The shoe they created looked nothing like anything people had ever seen before. When the first Crocs finally hit the market, people didn't know what to think. Some picked them up, turned them around, and laughed. Seriously? This is a shoe? It didn't look sleek. It didn't look stylish. It definitely didn't look like the next big thing. The oversized shape, the holes, the bright colors, everything about it felt different. And that's exactly why people couldn't stop talking about it. Some called it the ugliest shoe ever made. Others joked that it looked like a piece of Swiss cheese for your feet. If social media had been as big as it is today, Crocs probably would have gone viral overnight. Not because people loved them, but because everyone was making fun of them. But while critics were busy laughing, something interesting was happening. The people who actually wore Crocs didn't want to take them off. Doctors working 12-hour shifts started recommending them to their colleagues. Chefs standing in hot kitchens all day loved how light they felt. Restaurant workers, nurses, gardeners, people whose jobs demanded hours on their feet, all started saying the same thing. I don't care what they look like, they're incredibly comfortable. That was the moment Crocs realized something powerful. Maybe they didn't need to impress everyone, maybe they just needed to solve a real problem. And sometimes, that's exactly how the biggest businesses are built. It all started with a simple taste. Instead of launching in big shopping malls or spending millions on advertising, the founders took their strange-looking shoes to a boating exhibition in Florida. They weren't expecting a miracle, they just wanted to see how people would react. And something surprising happened. Every single pair they brought sold out. Not because the shoes looked amazing, but because the people who tried them couldn't stop talking about how comfortable they felt. That was all the proof the founders needed. Word spread quickly, first among boaters, then doctors, chefs, restaurant workers, and soon, Crocs were everywhere. Demand grew faster than anyone expected. The small startup suddenly became one of the fastest growing footwear companies in America. In just a few years, Crocs went from selling shoes at a boat show to being listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Investors were excited. Sales were exploding. The future looked unstoppable. It seemed like Crocs had done the impossible. The shoe that everyone laughed at was now making millions. But success has a dangerous side. When everything is going perfectly, it's easy to believe nothing can go wrong. And that's exactly what happened, because in 2008, everything changed. No one saw it coming. In 2008, the global financial crisis shook businesses around the world. People stopped spending money. And suddenly, Crocs had a problem, a very big problem. The company had produced millions of pairs of shoes, expecting demand to keep growing. But customers weren't buying anymore. Warehouses began filling up with unsold Crocs. Store shelves became crowded, orders slowed down. Then came the news that shocked investors. Crocs stock price collapsed from nearly $68 to almost $1, almost overnight. Billions of dollars in market value disappeared. People who once believed Crocs was the future now believed it was finished. News reports questioned whether the company would survive. Analysts called it one of the biggest business failures of its time. Stores were closed, employees lost their jobs. The company was forced to make painful decisions just to stay alive. For a moment, it really looked like this was the end of Crocs, but sometimes the strongest companies aren't the ones that never fail. They're the ones that learn how to fight their way back. And Crocs was about to do exactly that. Most companies would have tried to become something they weren't. Crocs didn't. Instead of chasing fashion trends, they doubled down on what made them different: comfort, lightweight design, and a shoe people could wear all day. Then came a bold idea. What if the very thing people laughed at could become something people wanted to show off? Crocs started collaborating with celebrities, artists, musicians, and some of the biggest brands in the world. Limited edition releases sold out in minutes. Long lines formed outside stores. Online drops disappeared almost instantly. The same shoe that had once been called the ugliest shoe ever made was suddenly one of the most talked about shoes on the planet. Today, Crocs is worth billions of dollars. Millions of people wear them every single day. From hospitals to restaurants to airports to schools, and even on fashion runways, the shoe that almost disappeared found a second life by staying true to what made it different. Because in business, trying to be like everyone else is rarely what makes you unforgettable. Sometimes, the biggest advantage is having the courage to be different, and maybe that's the real story of Crocs. Not the shoe everyone laughed at, but the shoe that proved the world wrong. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring you more fascinating stories like this every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.